Welcome back after a wild day of hockey. Here to just recap a little bit the 4 games that went on in the quarterfinals and kind of take a look ahead to the semifinals. So the first game, unfortunately, I had high hopes for this one, but the first game was a bit of a blowout. Slovakia absolutely took it to Germany. They were up 4-0. Into the second period. Germany finally gets on the board, but it was too little too late at that point. Germany has like some of the highest quality top stars, but they don't have the depth to stick around. You obviously have Draisaitl, Stützle, and Seider just right off the top, and then Peterka's solid. But they don't have the depth. Once those guys go off the floor and if they're not producing big time, I mean, if you look at the U.S.-Germany game, the U.S. completely smothered Draisaitl because he's the superstar. I was extremely impressed, though, with Tim Stützle. I don't watch a ton of Ottawa Senators games, but he's fantastic. He's a superstar in the making. He's still young. I feel like he's early 20s. So, but yeah, Germany's eliminated. Slovakia moves on. That was the first game of the day. The second game of the day, well, actually, these two games were kind of going on simultaneously, but the Canada game finished first, and Canada escapes Czechia. I just wish Czechia could have knocked them off, and I have no problems with Canada, the country. I have no problem with Canada, the players. It's the fans. They're insufferably smug. That's just what it is. They're like Dallas Cowboy fans if the Cowboys had won the Super Bowl last year. I spoke with Dave about that previous episode, but they're just insufferable. And that's just kind of what my struggle is right now. But Czechia, they held their own. They took a goal late. I believe it was with about 7 minutes left. Let's see. 7 minutes left. Andre Palat scores a goal, assisted by Marty Necas and Tomáš Hertl. Both are NHLers. Nick Suzuki scores with less than 4 to go. And then Mitch Marner in OT. Now, unfortunately for Canada, and fortunately for Finland, I mean, they would probably rather play him at their full strength, but Sidney Crosby went down with an injury, and it doesn't look like he's going to be returning. Is it does it hurt Canada? Yes, but will it affect them? Probably not. They're so deep top to bottom. But this game was incredible. I was rock solid during this game when I thought Czechia was going to win. It was so exciting. Like, please knock these guys off. Knock them off their pedestal. But, I mean, the only real thing that needs to happen is for the U.S. to beat them. But I don't know if that's going to happen. U.S. played very conservative yesterday, and we'll get to that. Another fantastic game. Another overtime game. Finland erases a 2-0 deficit. They were down 2-0 with less than 8 minutes to go. Scored two goals late, and then an OT winner by Arturi Lehkonen. Aho from Luostarinen and Lindell. They have a Lindell and a Lundell. Miro Heiskanen from Roope Hintz, his teammate, and Mikko Rantanen, his other teammate. Just a Dallas Stars situation going on there. And Arturi Lehkonen from Anton Lundell, and another assist from Esa Lindell. So this one, I feel bad for Switzerland. I do. You gotta feel bad for them when they're up 2-0, but and they blow it. They're up 2-0 the entire game. Finland looks scary though, and just imagine they could have Alexander Barkov on this team. If they had Barkov, I would pick them as my favorites to win the entire tournament. They're stacked. But the third period, I mean, the power of Finland just took over, and actually my boy, oh no, this side, UC Saros, he locked it down for the rest of the game. He's a lot of hit and miss. I watched almost every single Predators game this year, and sometimes he's lights out, and you can't get anything off of him. And then sometimes he looks real bad. So they got the good UC Saros today. And one other thing, when we're transitioning here from Finland to the U.S. game, watching Nashville Predators all year, UC Saros is 5'11". Seeing Connor Hellebuck in goal. Now, I don't watch a lot of Winnipeg Jets games, but seeing him as the goaltender that I'm rooting for, the guy's massive, especially compared to Saros. And I'm just used to seeing Saros there. And Justus Annanen's not that much bigger. But seeing Hellebuck, he looks like he's absorbing the entire goal. I don't know. It's just, he's a lot of fun to watch. Connor Hellebuck's fantastic. So Team US dominated in terms of defensively the entire game up until, what was it? Less than 2 minutes to go. Mika Zibanejad drills one. And that took all the wind out of the sails. From the point Mika Zibanejad scored to the overtime goal by Quinn Hughes, I didn't say anything. I was just glued to the screen. And when Quinn Hughes scores the goal, we'll get to that in a second, I jump like, yeah, I scared the crap out of my wife, who was sitting next to me reading. She likes watching hockey, but she likes it when we go live. She's not really a big, I'm going to sit down and watch it type of person. So she's just hanging out with me reading, we're sitting on the couch, and I jumped up like, let's go. And I scared the absolute crap out of her. I felt bad, but she was, once I told her what happened, we're chest bumping and stuff. But yeah, so let me see if I can, because with Team US, so it felt like an extremely chaotic game, like a mess of a game. Everyone just flying all over the place. And then the third period, it felt like the US was just playing not to lose. I hate that. I hate that mentality. It seemed like they were playing almost like a 5-on-5 penalty kill situation, if that makes sense. So they were just defending and then chipping it down. Defend, chip it down, rotate your defenders. It felt really, really lazy. Not lazy, that's not the right word. Now, I'm going to cross over with the NFL. It felt like the Atlanta Falcons from Super Bowl 51. Sorry, Falcons fans. Playing not to lose instead of playing to win. It was extremely stressful. Let me see. This website, this IIHF website is pretty rough. All right, here we go. The third period, the U.S. only had 4 shots on goal. So what are we doing? 9 saves by Connor Hellebuck, who has been absolutely fantastic. He's given up 3 goals, 1 goal per game, essentially. He's been incredible. Now, one thing that was kind of annoying in this one was it felt like Boldy at the end. Maybe this was the play that was designed, but at the end on the final goal, it felt like Boldy didn't want the moment, and Quinn Hughes sure did. He waved off. Now it's Hughes, Boldy, and Matthews on the ice in overtime. And they were trying to sub out for Quinn Hughes. He's like, no, I got it. The broadcast did a fantastic job. Shout out to Kenny Albert, who is one of the best hockey announcers I've ever heard. But he waved him off, and Quinn Hughes kept trying to get Boldy the puck, but Boldy kept going like down along the left boards and just kind of clogging it up as Matthews is doing like a circle to draw the defender. Quinn Hughes comes around, he shoots, he comes left to right, back to the left, shoots to the right, and drills the game winner. I've watched it like 15 times so far. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm sorry to my wife for scaring her. I was kind of stunned when they got that goal late, and one thing I did feel bad for Markstrom for Sweden, because he gave up the game-winning goal, even though you only gave up 2 goals for 65 minutes or 66 minutes, whatever it was. I just felt bad for him. But I'm extremely impressed with Quinn Hughes. I keep saying I don't watch a lot of this team and that team because I watch all of the Predators games, so it's hard to, watch every single game, especially, 80 hours a week. But that's a guy I've been impressed with. Tage Thompson's another one. And who's the other guy that's really... Oh, Jack Hughes. I'm not allowed to watch New Jersey Devils games because they're blacked out. They're local, but they're not local. So they're not on my ESPN Plus, but they're also not on our local MSG. So, I like Hughes, Thompson. Thompson's been very good. I've been impressed with Werenski. Easy for me to say. Obviously Quinn Hughes, but yeah. So the final 4 is United States will play Slovakia and Canada versus Finland. Both games are on Friday. Today's a day off. I'm rooting for Finland to win. I'll just be straight up with you. It's simply because of the Canadian fan base. I have no problems in saying that. Obviously, I'm rooting for the U.S. to win, but I think it's going to be U.S.-Canada in the final. And I really don't know if the U.S. can knock them off, especially the way they played today. But if Hellebuck plays like he did today... Now, one more thing before I go. So, Nashville Predators, yeah, I've said it 15 times. Philip Forsberg had like 3 chances to shoot from basically point-blank range and decided to pass all 3 times. I don't know what that was about. I'm kind of glad he did, though, because it looked like he could have drilled, and that's what makes me nervous about this versus Canada. Celebrini, McKinnon, all these guys, they're not going to pass it at that point. They're going to try and drill it, and Connor Hellebuck's got to be on his A game if it gets to that. Slovakia certainly can beat the U.S., and Finland can beat Canada. Canada is beatable, as we saw yesterday. So. All right, let me know what you think down below. I'll probably come back and talk about the semifinals game. So 3 out of these last 4 teams will get a medal. The 4th one, odd man out. But nevertheless, I'll be back on Friday, probably Friday evening, to talk about those games. Thanks for watching.